I write to you in hush, between silk drapes and jasmine dusk, my words wrapped in the kind of silence only royalty knows. Here, where duty stands like guards at every gate, my thoughts are not free except when they are of you. You're the only name I whisper without thinking, the only memory that doesn't bow before decorum. Sometimes I imagine your hand meeting mine not across a ballroom but beneath the sky, where titles fade and eyes carry the truth better than crests. You never tried to place a crown upon me, you never asked for reverence. You only looked like I was someone to be understood, not worshipped. There is a peace in that, like a field where roses grow uncut, wild. My tutors speak of nations, but I think only of your smile, a treaty I would sign in heartbeat. I remember when your fingers brushed mine, a touch that startled my breath into poetry. I wish you knew how often I escape in thought to the garden behind the palace, where the wind sounds like your laugh when it dances with the leaves. There I sit under the same olive tree we once passed, and wonder if time could ever bow as we do, if it would let me live a life away from history's eyes. But I was born into legacy, and you were born to live. Still my heart forgets that truth when I think of the way you held your sorrow like a lantern, never hiding it, never letting it dim you. You are not made of silver spoons or velvet walls, but you shine brighter than any medal worn. I would trade every diamond on my mother's tiara for 1 hour in your arms. You are not of my world, and yet you are my whole world. In your laugh lives the ocean, in your silence lives the stars. When I walk past columns and marble floors, I imagine the weight of your hoodie on my shoulders, warm, soft, real. I never told you that I kept the leaf you gave me. It's pressed between my diaries. It's more precious than gold. You once said I carry the sky in my voice. I never answered, too flustered, too eager perhaps, to admit I'd give it back to you if I could. I'd trade the throne for a wooden bench with you beside me. In my dreams there's no anthem but your home, no choreography but the way you draw circles on my palm, without knowing. Do you remember the first letter you gave me? It wasn't poetry but it read like it, simple truths strung together. Unashamed. I've read it more times than I've read the speeches they make me memorize. There's power in that, in unpolished emotion. You made me believe that I could be more than a crown, that perhaps even a princess deserves to be loved not for her lineage, but her laughter. I hide behind etiquette, but you always see through it, straight into the girl who dances barefoot when no one's looking. If they only knew that a common boy with calloused hands could hold my heart more gently than any royal decree ever could. But they don't, and maybe that's a mercy. Maybe love this rare should remain unspoken by the world. Sometimes I walk through the palace and wonder what my life would look like with you beside me, not in velvet or gold, but in something truer. A cabin with windows that fog in winter, mornings where I wake to your heartbeat instead of trumpet call. A world where I'm not Her Royal Highness, but just a girl who loves you. They think love must be strategic, alliances woven like lace, but I don't want lace. I want linen sheets and messy hair. I want your voice in the kitchen, humming a song I don't know. I want the mundane with you, because even that feels like stardust. In your arms the weight of my name disappears. I become just Leonor, not a symbol, not a future queen, just a girl who wants to be held. I never knew how cruel destiny could be until it led me to someone I might never fully have. But if I can't be yours in daylight, I will love you in the corners of my mind. I will write you into poems and hide them under pillows. I will carve your name in silence and call it devotion. You're not the kind of love I was warned about. You're the kind of love they didn't think possible for someone like me. When I was little they told me fairy tales with princes who arrived in armor, but you came in laughter and flaw. And somehow you were more magical than anything they ever described. You never tried to rescue me. You only walked beside me, even when the path twisted and the thorns reached for our ankles. That is love, not spectacle, but quiet loyalty. Not declarations, but presence. They measure my worth by my lineage, but you measure it by the softness in my eyes, the truth in my voice. And that is why I love you, because you see the girl behind the gold. And every time you smile at me, I feel like I'm not alone in the world. You are the poem I whisper to myself when the halls feel cold. You are the letter I'll never send, but keep rewriting in my soul. They cannot crown a girl for her heart, but if they could, I'd be queen of longing. And you would wear the only throne that matters, my trust. There is a strange kind of ache in loving someone you can't parade through grand halls. I often think of what it would be like to hold your hand in the open, to not fear the cameras or the whispers. But love, real love, doesn't need applause. I've learned that from you. It lives best in the quiet, in shared glances across crowded rooms, in books exchanged under folded notes, in the way your hoodie still smells like pine and comfort. I wear it when I want to remember what it means to feel safe. You are my safest place, even when the world insists we must remain apart. Sometimes I imagine telling them, not in scandal but in truth, that I love a boy who holds the moon in his eyes, and the earth in his laughter. That I love him not because he is perfect, but because he is real. And I think they'd understand, even if they never say so. Because somewhere, buried under all these formalities, beats a heart like mine. One that longs, one that dreams, one that just maybe knows what it is to love without needing permission. The stars above this palace have seen too many secrets, and now they hold mine. A love so fierce and quiet, it could bend time if I let it. I want to write your name on the back of every official document, just to see it beside mine. I want to walk into history knowing I once loved fully, wildly, purely. Even if history never remembers you, I will. My every breath is lined with your presence. Even in banquets I feel your memory tracing the curve of my collarbone, where your lips once rested. I cannot confess this to anyone but these pages. But know this, I would choose you in every life. I would run barefoot through protocol if it meant 1 hour with you again. In a world that taught me to wear grace like armor, you are the only softness I cannot put away. My father speaks of duty, my mother speaks of legacy, but my heart, it speaks only your name, over and over, like a prayer, like a plea, like the sweetest surrender. And even if I marry a crown, I will belong to you, the boy who taught me to write haikus in the dark.